It's that power couple for me. Welcome to L Squared, a podcast with fresh Love Island content. This drama is in no particular order. Kenzie needs to rest. Connor continues to be a kind and patient man. Justine called Caleb light skin. Caleb decided he was Chrissy Teigen in the Jaleb power couple. Cely still needs to put Johnny on ice. Johnny's recoupling speech was lame. Carrington is suddenly boyfriend material. Laurel is swooning over Carrington's new fabric. Kierstan is the new top choice. Calvin made Sher ask, "Where my hug at?" Sher is now open to Jalen. Jalen has proven to be a player. Moira is excited about her budding relationship with Connor. This is a review of Love Island USA Season 2, Episode 21. Let's get into it! Carrington is ridiculous. It's hurting me. Last episode, he made breakfast for Laurel. This episode, he's giving her a mini date with fruits and meats. This is cruel. This is just outright cruelty toward Kierstan. Carrington has moved on, and he's really acting like Kierstan and him never happened. And I'm just hurting for my girl. Like, it's just so much more painful because she stood there single and got friend zoned by Carrington in front of everybody. Ugh, the evil. Oh my goodness. I just hate this situation for her. Like, when did Carrington become boyfriend material? Like, this entire season, he's been coming across as this arrogant party boy guy who talks himself up as a wolf but proves to be a puppy. And now he's acting like a boyfriend. He's acting like boyfriend material. Oh, I'm just tripping. Wow. And it's just so hurtful to know that Kierstan basically begged him for that. Like, what wasn't she that didn't deserve that sort of respect from him? like he just kept rejecting her, but he's giving all of this sudden love and affection to Laurel. Man, I can't imagine. I wouldn't be able to stand it. Like, Kierstan's really keeping her calm. Like, that girl has a lot of couth, because this is humiliating. But take this as a lesson, ladies. When he's not into you, keep it moving. Just keep it moving. We understand the game. You're trying to turn heads, but if the head isn't turning, keep it moving, period. And you know what? If he wants to chase, let him enjoy the chase. Make another decision based on that. But when he's just not that into you, there's no use in trying to make something happen where nothing's going to happen. So there's that. Carrington doesn't think Connor and Kenzie should talk because the wounds are still fresh and he doesn't want them to get back together. I think that was kind of a good friend move. It's nice to see Carrington being so caring toward everybody. And I really appreciate that he felt the need to step in for Connor between the conversation with him and Kenzie. I thought it was cool that he was checking on his friend, but I also feel that he should have taken Caleb's advice and stayed out of it and just let Connor handle his business on his own, because this is a growing experience for everybody. Carrington has suddenly had a character change. Maybe he's figured, okay, I like Laurel. I'm just going to thug this out with her. I've had my fun. Now I'm going to go for the bag. We don't know what he's going through. This is so sudden. But I like that he was trying to be a good friend to Connor. Personally, I wouldn't have gone over there unless I saw that Connor was struggling, or unless he asked me to, like, after that conversation. But I thought it was cool of him, and But I didn't like that he went over there just to try to break it up, but then he didn't end up breaking it up. So it just kind of made me think, okay, what was the point in going over there if you weren't going to be sure about what you're doing? So it was nice of Carrington to console Kenzie after that conversation with Connor because she's obviously hurting a lot. Jalen has rejected her and she feels she's made a big mistake. She had a really good guy who was committed to her, and now she's feeling unwanted. And I appreciate Carrington trying to block Kenzie from getting back at Connor because Kenzie is still someone who's full of tears and emotions, and those emotions can make someone else feel inhibited. It can make someone feel guilty enough to bend to her will. So I'm glad that Carrington is there to sort of intercept that and sort of be a buffer for Connor and just stop him from getting back into that mix again. Wow, Carrington has become such a soft boy. He has layers. He's an onion. Laurel is falling for Carrington, of course, because he's suddenly someone to fall for. That breakfast, that dinner date, he's been saying sweet things to her, taking time to get to know her. He's asking her serious questions like, what is she looking for in a relationship? He's actually taking her seriously. And that's everything a girl who is seeking a relationship wants. So Laurel has every green light from Carrington to fall hard and fall fast. So hopefully these two go the distance and they're, you know, a good finalist during the finale. Because, I mean, clearly Jaleb is the strongest couple. They're going to win, but it makes it more interesting when it seems like there are other strong couples as well. I just want to know what's going on with Laurel that has changed Carrington. Like, what qualities does this girl have that has made Carrington change the way he is behaving? Like, multiple people on in the villa have commented on his attitude change. So I hope Laurel gets some more scenes so we can get a better feel for her personality. Maybe she got that southern thang thang, that thang all the bells have, that, southern thang thang that we gotta learn about. Kierstan, however, is pissed. I mean, who wouldn't be? The person that you have thrown yourself at multiple times, who has embarrassed you and rejected you multiple times, is getting on with a girl so much better than he ever did with you. He's giving her everything you basically begged him for, and it's all happening right in front of your face, and people are commenting on how much better he is without you, and that their relationship is going so great. Meanwhile, Kierstan is single. So she's upset and she's bitter, but she's carrying it well. She's not being mean or nasty, but you can tell that the situation, well, Carrington is hurting her. And I just get the impression she didn't get a lot of closure from the ending of their relationship. I'm sure it's a blow to her self-esteem a little bit. Like, what is it about me that wasn't good enough for you? Just like we're wondering the opposite about Laura. What is it about her that is so great for him? But Kierstan is really keeping her head and her head held high and her chest up. So props to her. She made her choice. She's sticking by it. She's a strong woman. I admire her. She has strong character. She says Calvin left her speechless when she was flirting with him on the daybeds. I I mean, she says he has swag about him. That was the first impression we got of Calvin during the date. I think he has an enjoyable personality. I think it's been kind of, washed away in the most recent episodes because we haven't gotten a lot of clips of him and he seems to not be having a lot of fun. But when she said that Calvin left her speechless, I felt speechless because I was thinking, is she trying too hard right now? Like, is this how she flirts? Because I just can't see Calvin the way Kierstan sees Calvin. He does not seem at all impressive in that way to me. And I feel like he was kind of taken aback by her saying that to him. I just think she was patting his ego way too much. So Hopefully, Kierstan just chills a little bit. She's going through a lot of emotions and she just lets the guys float over to her. Like, no need to do a lot of flirting. But props to Kierstan again. She is grafting for that rebound. Girl, do your dance, shoot your shot. You have nothing to lose. And she appreciates the conversation Jalen had with her, that he has a strong sexual attraction to her, but she's questioning his genuinity. I mean, who wouldn't be after that situation with Mackenzie and how he was talking about her? And we're going to get to Jalen later in this episode and how her gut feeling is actually right about him. But as far as Jalen, I'm wondering, does his attraction toward Kierstan go beyond a sexual one? I mean, they obviously get along as friends, but he's kind of becoming someone who's a bit hard to read. Like, he seems very direct, and I do believe he means what he says, but I also think he says what's necessary in the moment. So I actually like Kierstan, and I think if she were to couple up with Jalen, it would be on a friendship basis. I don't really want to see those two together because I think they're just going to get dumped if they are together. So on to Calvin. He says things are fine with Cher, but he's open to Kierstan. Once again, that Texas sass is coming in strong. I thought it was so funny how Calvin snaked to couple with Kierstan. You know what? The order really worked out for Calvin. Like, he stood up, shocked everybody, chose Kierstan. Right after Cher asked him, like, him and Cher had a conversation, and she asked him, Calvin, do you got my back? And he was like, yeah. He tried to walk away. And he took every opportunity to diss Cher. He got Cher way back for dissing him for that kiss. Oh, she has red lipstick on. Oh, he has to go in for the cheek kiss. He had Cher looking crazy, asking him, can I have a hug? Woo! Calvin knows how to get him. Like, he's full of sass. Man, oh man. And then he coupled up with Kierstan after he said that he would have Cher's back. Yeah, right. Wow. That's going to come back to get him in that villa because what goes around comes around in there. But that was funny as I don't know what. Now we're finally on to Kenzie. First, let's start with something easy. Kenzie's platforms look like something serious. Those things were tall, wide, and thick. Woo! Now on to the drama. So she pulls Connor for a chat and says that she misses him. She misses their friendship. And she starts crying and confessing to him, like, her feelings about the situation with Jalen, that he's not the guy that she thought he was, that she feels used by him, and this, that, and the other. And then she gets mad at Carrington because he tried to interrupt their conversation. Like, she's giving him the worst death stare. Like, if her eyes could have hurt Carrington, he just would be dust and ashes. Yeah, I thought it was pretty awkward that, Mackenzie was talking to Connor about that. I understand the two of them did develop a friendship during their relationship, but I do agree with Connor that that was a conversation she should have had with one of her girlfriends instead of him. And it comes across as manipulative that she chose him to talk to about that. Like, she wanted to get some sort of guilt or sympathy from him to persuade him to go back to her and, just feel bad for her and choose her. I'm not sure if that was her intention, but that was how it came across to me. So I'm glad that Connor held his ground in that conversation and just heard her out. He's a very consistent person, and I appreciate how patient he is with her emotions. He never talks down about her. He never makes her feel guilty about the way she's feeling. He always validates her, which is amazing considering how emotional Mackenzie is. So yeah, I thought it wasn't really fair for Mackenzie to say that she misses Connor, especially after she left him single during the reunion. She obviously chose Jalen because she didn't trust in her relationship with Connor and she didn't respect him enough to, well, just during their relationship. Like, that was a part of the toxicity they experienced. So I did think it was like really unfair that she was having that conversation with him, trying to get him back, basically. So later in the episode, Connor pulls Mackenzie for a chat, and she kind of ends that chat saying, "Oh, I was nervous you were gonna friend zone me." And I think Connor wanted to friend zone her in that conversation, but like once again, her emotions and just her crying, I feel it made him feel so empathetic that it inhibited him from putting her in the friend zone. But I do think that's what Connor was feeling. And I just think, Kenzie's personality, like he said in his recoupling speech, prevents him from being himself around her. Um, I mean, I think Connor is a good guy, but I also feel that the kind of personality Mackenzie is, because Connor listens, it kind of enables her to continue to, ride her emotions. And I don't think those two, I think those two enable each other to some degree. Um yeah, so I'm gonna agree with Carrington on this. These two shouldn't give it a second try. I think when they were trying it the first time, they had the most potential, but now that they're both out of it, they shouldn't do that in out sort of thing. Yeah. But I feel for Kenzie. I understand what she was saying about the Jalen situation, that he judged her and rejected her based on his judgments about her. We talked about on this podcast. But once again, I really feel like Kenzie just needs to take a break. She's just not having a good time on Love Island anymore, and there's no one there for her because she's turned off a lot of people with her just her negative on-screen character. I mean, we don't know who Kenzie really is, but it seems like even from Aaron, he doesn't want to get into a relationship with her because just of the emotional roller coaster. Like it seems like too much. So hopefully Mackenzie can relax a little bit and we can, start to have a good time watching her again. But at this stage, it's just too much. Bring back Thug Kenzie. No more emotional gangster. Thug Kenzie only. Connor is done with Mackenzie. He's not getting back into a relationship with her. She tried her best to use her emotional manipulation to pull Connor back in. Connor, he's an intelligent grown man. He said, in a lot of words, been there, done that. I've moved on to someone who appreciates me and respects me more. And that's Moira. We didn't see Connor and Moira coming. But I actually like it. Hopefully their friendship blossoms into something more romantic. Let's not forget Moira is 27 and Connor is 23. But I think the two of them have the potential to have a nice relationship. They both like to have fun. They're lighthearted, easygoing. I think a relationship between the two of them can be easy. So we'll see where they go. They look good together. But then again, Connor looks good with everybody. Even Justine. Swirl. But Connor really handled Mackenzie very well. He heard her out, even when she lied and said she brought Jalen back as a just in case. He just heard her out, was patient with her, and then went on about his business, which was the best way to handle the situation. I'm so glad Connor moved on and chose Moira. Here's a snippet of his recoupling speech.
Experience ever since day one. She makes me feel comfortable, heard, understood, and validated in the way I feel. And I never feel pressure to be someone I'm not when I'm with her. I feel as though we are just scratching the surface and getting to know each other in this new way. But I have never felt more ready, proud, and confident in starting something new with one of my best friends.
That speech was for Moira, and it seemed like there were a few indirects to Mackenzie saying that He doesn't feel pressure with Moira. He feels confident and he feels ready to explore something new. Mackenzie definitely looked pretty sad hearing Connor's speech for somebody else. Obviously, she's very regretful for choosing Jalen over Connor, but I think this was just a necessary outcome because, once again, I feel Mackenzie's perception of Connor was never right. I think Connor was honest and he said the necessary things to Mackenzie. Sometimes a person needs to hear something in different environments or more than once to finally understand or even just comprehend or um, retain what you're saying. So I don't think Connor is saying that he doesn't feel like he can be himself or that he feels pressured by Mackenzie for the first time. Everybody in the villa has heard this, including Mackenzie, and it's unfortunate if this is her first time hearing it. But I believe that he's told her this multiple times, like on one conversations. So any indirects that he said in her speech, I don't think were mean or malicious. I just think that was Connor expressing himself and it was all necessary. So, yay! Koira, Monner, let's go! Psych, we know Moira's gonna check out those new bombshells. 3 new boys, cha-ching! Okay, on to something more cheerful. Caleb made a joke after the text came through. I got a text! Had to. Cely, you want to go chat? I loved that. Everybody laughed at that. And Caleb and Justine had a moment in the kitchen where they were comparing themselves to power couples. They felt they were most comparable to John Legend and Chrissy Teigen. And Caleb says that he's the Chrissy Teigen in that power couple because he's the funny one. But he also had to say he could sing. So he can do it all. It's so nice to see Caleb and Justine just making a deep connection with each other. Every time we hear them talking, they're joking, they have a flirty banter, and they're just really getting to know each other and establishing that strong bond. Justine wants Kenzie to let Connor heal. I definitely agree with what she said in the confessional. Hasn't she put him through enough? Yeah, like at some point you just have to leave the person alone. Just relax. So, a lot of people were saying that if Caleb and Justine are saying to leave it alone or that it's not a good situation, then we got to listen to our parents. It is not a good situation. We are not about what Kenzie is doing. I'm team Kenzie. I mean, I'm team Justine first, always, but I am sympathetic to Kenzie. So, I also agree with Justine that she should just let Connor heal because at this point she's making herself look bad and making the situation worse. Also, Justine can sing in case you don't know, and I want to hear Caleb and Justine do a very cute duet. Put J&J's jingles to shame. Caleb, Justine, Jaleb band, rock out. Come through with those R&B smooth jams. Go hard on the beat with some raps. One Chicago freestyle on a house rhythm. Jaleb forever. Okay, Moira is so excited to get to know Connor, especially because they already have a friendship. I think that'll be something nice and easy because Moira was very stressed out about starting new relationships with people very quickly. So, building on something she already has with someone is just a lot easier. And then that's good for Connor too because he just got out of an intense situation. So, I think these two can just have fun together. They're in a good position for that and their potentially romantic relationship has a good start. So this could be a really nice slow burn situation. They look flirty and cute together. Cely is still loving all over Johnny. She was kissing all over his face in bed, and it's killing me because I'm still convinced that he doesn't respect her. She hasn't given him anything to chase or work for. How does she have so much energy in the morning? I love Cely. I love her energy. I think she deserves the world. She needs a new guy, not Johnny. And like, Cely is coming across to me as an anomaly, just a little bit. Like the fact that she gets up in the morning so happy, she instructs everybody with morning yoga. My oh my, I love Cely. She is the best. Johnny, not a lot to say on him. He didn't get in lines in this episode until the recoupling speech, which was lame. He mentioned that he's excited to meet Cely's family and for her to meet his family. I just think that's so bogus. I think that's BS because we know what he was up to in Casa Amor. I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it. Someone needs to snitch on him. Oh, wait. We have 3 bombshells coming in, so maybe the guys will go after Cely and tip her off to some of the things Johnny was up to. But I don't even think Johnny is still romantically interested in Cely. If he is, we haven't seen that on screen. Or maybe I'm just so convinced he's playing a game that I think he's just tolerating her at this point. Like now that he knows that him and Cely can't win the competition, I feel like he's just cruising. Like as soon as Love Island is over, he's just gonna break up with her because she's no more like value in his mind. I mean, Cely is irreplaceable, as she has said. She's a beautiful person. I just feel like Johnny is just not appreciating and embracing all of the wonderfulness he has the privilege of being around. So hopefully these 3 new bombshells shake up the house and get Johnny mad. I mean really, really mad. Like make him lick Cely's toes. I mean, he's already sucked on her toes. But you get what I'm saying. Make him grovel. Now we're on to Jalen. This feels like old drama. So, Jalen broke things off with Mackenzie in this episode, and during that conversation, he noted that she felt unfairly judged and that he was disingenuous. It's hard to say whether or not Jalen was actually disingenuous. During Casa Amor, he did have a conversation with Mackenzie where he communicated that he wants to keep his options open. We know that he said this to her because in the confessional, Mackenzie said that it offended her and she didn't like the way he brought it up. She felt it was mean and she wanted a person who only has eyes for her, and it made her skeptical about choosing him. Now that they're in the main villa, Jalen still has his options open, but to his credit, he told her that during Casa Amor. Mackenzie chose him anyway. It's just more of a problem for Mackenzie now because she's in a situation where she can't go back with Connor, and she realizes that Jalen doesn't like her as much as she thought he did. What we're unclear on is whether or not Jalen led Mackenzie on. It's hard to say whether or not he said anything or did anything to her to give the impression he liked her a lot more than he actually did. The only thing we know for sure is he did tell her that he wanted to keep his options open before he entered the main villa. Now that he's in the main villa, he's still keeping his options open, and Mackenzie still doesn't like that. The only thing that has changed is it's less convenient for Mackenzie. Can we just laugh at the fact that Jalen used the exact same pickup lines with Sher as he did with Kierstan and Mackenzie? The guy is a player. He's got a book. Word for word, the exact same lines. I'm really into you. What? Seeing that actually makes Jalen come across as disingenuous. So him and Cher may be getting dumped together. Oh, and the speech he gave for Cher, that sounded pretty cool. I mean, the Superman part was a little bit cheesy, but it was a nice recoupling speech on the fly. Aaron, one of the nicest guys in the villa, is on the fence about Kenzie. Gotta give Kenzie credit. She is still an emotional gangster. Gangster because she keeps fighting for what she wants. You know, she's feeling like the butt of a joke. You know, she's feeling judged, but she's still trying to stay in the game. She makes a move toward Aaron, and she's saying that her options are open to him, and he's saying, okay. In the confessional, he tells us that he sees Mackenzie as more of a friend, more like one of the guys sort of situation. He's not viewing her romantically. I think the two of them get along, but he's in a position where he doesn't want to be involved with her romantically just because of that emotional side of her, and he's seen that she's different in relationships, so he likes friend Kenzie more than relationship Kenzie. And at this stage, who can blame him? I mean, I do think Aaron is definitely the type of person who would give Mackenzie more of a chance. He would try to get to know her more, but I really feel like he's going to keep her in the friend zone because he wants to keep getting to know Kierstan. And whew, his face when Calvin stole Kierstan. He did not see that coming. So maybe we can get some Aaron versus Calvin versus Jalen energy over Kierstan. Let's make the boys fight for the women for once. Yes, no girls versus girls. All boys versus boys. Get in the mud. But yikes. Mackenzie's looking very undesirable on Love Island right now. But I'm glad she's coupled with Aaron because he gave her a very nice recoupling speech, and he kind of fought back at some of the things Connor had to say in his. He said that Mackenzie gets him. They have good banter together. She understands all of his sarcastic jokes, throws it back at him. He feels like he can be himself around her. And it just was such a great contrast to what Connor said, because it points out that some people are for you and, they just naturally get along with you, and other people just aren't, and they just don't. So Connor and Mackenzie just, I hate to say it, I hate to be wrong, but they just weren't a good fit. Yikes. But they weren't, and I'm glad she has Aaron because it'll be a nice breath of fresh air and something nice that they can just get going for each other because they're comfortable with each other, and it'll still give Aaron the space he needs to fight off Calvin and Jalen for Kierstan. But who knows how long Jalen is going to be there because he's with Sher now and people are looking to vote them off together. So, yeah, I'm glad Aaron is with Kenzie. Those two might make it through this next dumping. Now for our favorite part of the show, where we mention our tweets. @UnstableDyke says, the most gorgeous woman in the villa, and there are 2 pictures of Justine. Absolutely. She came in immensely underrated and boom, just shot up like a phoenix. The most gorgeous woman in the villa, best man, power couple with the voodoo. Ooh, and that voodoo is working because Sher is at the bottom of that power couples list. Her power, unfathomable. Janelle Pierre Zena says, I'm so addicted to Love Island. Welcome to the party. Someone else says, the way Moira is being passed around, girl, go back home. Oh my goodness. I never thought of Moira's situation as that. I believe Connor is her 4th guy. She had James, Calvin, Aaron, Connor. Okay, I feel like I don't even know if we should count Aaron because I feel they never left the friend zone. I think they had potential, but Moira just squashed it. She didn't feel like it. Okay. @Shatriga says, attention Caleb and Justine stands. We ride as soon as voting opens. Oh yeah, absolutely. We put our vote in. We know who's winning. @Angela Lopez says, I just want to inform y'all that we won Jaleb. Clink, clink. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jaleb Nation, you know what to do, says @LoudHijabi. Oh, yeah, we voted. Let's find some other stuff. Okay, @TSwiftBT13 says, Cher wanted a hug today, but last night swerved Calvin's face. Clearly, she's just using him. I love that he got her back. Calvin, he comes through with that personality when they let us see it. Someone else says, every time I see Mackenzie giving a confessional, this is all I see. And it's the girl from, was it Total Drama Island, the blonde? That's funny. At Just Jung says, Caleb, I flirted with the idea of growing old together, and it's Beyonce wiping her tears. Oh yeah, that was beautiful. Caleb's recoupling speech was the best out of all of them. It was so genuine, so heartfelt, so warm. I mean, him and Justine are just becoming something that we've never seen on reality TV before. At Jade Ray Reed says, they're smiling as if we aren't voting them off. And they're referencing Jalen and Sher. Yeah, I don't really think anybody's voting for them. If they're voting, it's probably because they're a good-looking couple, but I feel the other Islanders just have way stronger storylines than them. At Ivy Golson 1 says, Sher, as soon as Calvin said she has a firecracker personality. And it's a picture of Will Smith and like a tired face. So someone else says, yes, we can kill two birds with one stone by Jalen and Sher. Yeah, people really want them gone. I don't think they're getting any votes. Okay, so we had a recoupling tonight. Nobody got dumped. We also had to vote for our favorite couples. You already know we voted for Jaleb. But this is our power couple ranking. Number 1, Caleb and Justine. Number 2, hate to say it, Johnny and Cely. They're the second, well, they're actually now the longest standing OG Islander couple. Sucks. But we're only rooting for Cely on this podcast, so if she's still with Johnny, we can't boot him. But hopefully the bombshells change that. Get Cely a new man. Number 3, we have Carrington and Laurel. Carrington has stayed in the top for a lot of this season. He actually has a good chance at winning because remember, a lot of people thought he was one of the most attractive people. Now he's looking like boyfriend material. Him and Laurel actually look cute together, so that's the new couple to watch. Especially if Johnny and Cely crumble, they would probably come pretty close to Jaleb in the vote. Number 4, we have Calvin and Kierstan, new couple that Texas sass finally gets together and makes a pa pa pa. Number 5, we have Connor and Moira, odd coupling, never saw it coming, but they're cute together and they're OGs, so we've got a little bit of storyline there. Number 6, Aaron and Mackenzie. People like Aaron, but he's a new person, so we don't know a lot about him yet. And Mackenzie, a lot of people are tired of her, so we'll see how long they last on the island. And lastly, we have the 2 newest Islanders from Casa More, Jalen and Sher. They have the least amount of screen time, so they're probably going to go in the next dumping. Our diversity percentage is currently 50%. 7 out of the 14 Islanders are people of color. Oh, and Carrington and Laurel is our only swirl couple because Carrington is Puerto Rican and Laurel is Caucasian. Everybody else who is POC is paired with another POC person. Oh, wait, just POC. Sorry. Thank you to everyone who participated in the group chat. It was a lot of fun watching the episode with you all. Keep up with us at Lonely Loquate on Instagram and Twitter. DM us if you'd like to be featured on the show. We love responding to listeners' comments. We'll be back tomorrow night with more fresh Love Island content. What about the fact that Calvin talked to nobody about his plan to dish Sher? He for real snaked her. Like, no one saw that coming. Messed up the whole picking order.